Ah! Okay, let's try that again. Hi, Gretchen. Hi, Gretchen. It's the fiance. That is Jeff. Oh. Gretchen. Hi, Gretchen. It's Aubrey. As you know, I'm Chris's fiance, and I don't really blog at all, but I felt I needed to contact you somehow and let you know that I think you should move to Chicago. Fiance, okay. Oh God. This is only my neighborhood of Chicago, but it's a particularly special one, and it's one that I think might encourage you to actually make the trek all the way over to the Midwest. So I hope this reaches you safely, and let's journey out! Okay, Aubrey, take a deep breath, and let's just do it. Well, here I am, wishing I had a thought microphone, instead settling for a tardy voiceover a week later while recovering from a cold. Sorry, Gretchen, the quality of my monologue will be nothing close to former Chicagoan John Green. I must concede, Chicago can't match the autumn changes on the East Coast, but we try. We still have soft showers of golden leaves and color changes that come suddenly in the night. We can't compete with what you'll leave behind, but we aren't too shabby. Each little change brings the short-lived gift of a moment, and moments, I'll argue, are what Chicago has to offer you, Gretchen. And we have Reds too. Chicago gets by with its autumn. Back to John Green. He lived in this area for a while and has put it in many of his books. The streets I'm walking, he has walked. I don't say this because the streets are now blessed with his talents, but rather the opposite. I think it is that the streets blessed Green, and that they developed his nascent genius. He wrote chunks of Looking for Alaska here, and he still comes by for readings. The bookstore also sells wine, which is nice. And I won 3 months of martial arts training here as well. By the way, next door, there's a store where you can buy some really great pens. And in that store today, they had a kitty in it dressed up for Halloween. Hello, kitty! But across from the happy food spot is a bookstore I think you'd prefer to the infamous bookseller. As long as you stay slender and move very slowly, the books won't cave in on you. The used bookstore is a caricature of its type. And the owner? He's also full of vim and vigor. Since there's no room to sit in a bookstore, I recommend doing your writing here. It's quietly bustling and very gracious to people watchers. The people you'll be watching are my neighbors. They hybridize their gardens into prehistoric jungles replete with monsters. And they always remember to save space for afternoon tea. They dutifully adhere to personal taste and color, and they persist in these combinations and carry a pattern through, creating their own special home. They build homes for their feathered folk, and even then you can see that the idiosyncrasies are quaint without being trite. I used to wonder, what is it about Chicago that attracts so many personalities? But now I think it is Chicago, which draws out the beautiful in people. There are louder parts of Chicago where individuals are crassly obvious. But here I'm content to look into domestic gardens and guess at my neighbor's secrets. Chicago's environment nurtures individuality. Walking to the store or back from the L, it's impossible not to feel struck by imagination. It can be subtle, but the result is delicious, maddening brain crack. It's as if ideas were just waiting, ripe as fruit, to be plucked. I had my own surprises during my walk. I found a Dutch pastry shop with a not-too-sweet pumpkin spice latte for refreshment. I stumbled on a mosaic. 2 men were laying in front of an L-stop, tiny chinks of ceramic painstakingly placed so that those who took the ramp wouldn't just have regular concrete. Some of the surprises, while I was snooping, were not quite as pleasant. That dog scared the crap out of me. As a new vlogger, I missed some opportunities, like the van of mariachi men who I was too nervous to hold the camera up for, or to even stop walking. And of course, there were the multiple fumbles with the camera, upside down and inside out. What I'm trying to say is, Gretchen, if you come to Chicago, you'll surprise yourself.